Okay, to make pesto, we have the four main ingredients: pine nuts, Parmigiano Reggiano from the region, parmesan, olive oil, and of course basil. You'll notice that this basil, the leaves are much smaller than that which one is used to seeing in the supermarket. This is for two reasons. First of all, it's a different variety. As a more fine-leaved and aromatic basil. It has a much more sweeter taste. Of course, the basil that you get in supermarkets is often grown under greenhouse conditions using UV lamps and not natural sunlight. I'm now going to roast these pine nuts. I'm going to do about 20 grams. Roasting to bring out the flavour of nuts. They have browned quite considerably, so I'm putting them into this container. Okay, to this container I'm going to add now some basil. And I'm taking the stalks, because when the basil is still young and fresh, you can include the stalks in your pesto. I've got quite a lot of basil now. Some of the bigger stalks, if you're able to run your finger down them and pull off the leaves, then this is a good indication that the stalks are a bit too thick, a bit too brittle, old, too strong, lacking in any real flavour. So they can remove some of the bigger ones, but some of them I pull them and they snap. They're not strong enough. That tells me that they're not too thick. You really need quite a lot of basil. And I'm going to get even more from a different plant, because you don't want to fucking kill the shit out of it. You want it to be regenerated, to be reusable. The one here. Okay, I've run the basil under a cold tap, gently washing it. But I'm not going to wait for it to dry. While there's still a little bit of moisture in there, I'm going to pop it in here. The reason I do this is because there's no harm in having a little bit of water in the pesto. After all, it is very cheesy, it's very nutty, and it's very olive oily. So let's add about 50 to 70 grams of Parmigiano Reggiano. Some pepper. I'm not going to add any salt just yet. There is some salt in the Parmigiano. I always have to see first if it's salty. So about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then I just blend it up using one of these. If you haven't got one of these, yeah, you should get one. You should get one. I'm doing it in pulses. The reason is so that I don't generate too much heat and cook the basil. Okay, taste, always taste. Yes, it needs a bit more cheese and a touch of salt. Pour it into the Tupperware. And just a few words on why I do this. I do this because it's incredibly cheap compared with the shop-bought pesto. A lot of these tin pestos actually use things like cashew nuts and sunflower oil. And they also have a much darker green colour. They're using preservatives, and the basil is losing its colour, its vibrancy over time. If you just buy one of these appliances, you can make your own. Just a few notes on ingredients I didn't choose. I didn't choose garlic. Some people put in a little knob of garlic. I feel that raw garlic in the pesto, it's just too powerful, but these flavours really speak for themselves. Some people also add heat in the shape of chili. I, again, don't like to do that if I'm making this classic pesto. However, one day I may make my coriander chili pesto in it.